Musa Razvanjani on visible threats to the 2023 elections. Doyo Okukwe has stepped down from his position as the Director General of Presidential Campaign Council of the Labour Party. Okukwe announced his resignation in a letter addressed to the party's presidential candidate, Peter Obi, dated 20th of December. Okukwe's resignation comes hours after he was convicted over money laundering charges by a federal high court sitting in Abuja. The Nigerian Senate has demanded for the reports of the forensic audit conducted by the executive arm of government on the accounts of the Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC. This request followed the confirmation of Loretta Onoche as the chairman of the new NDDC board, alongside 12 others nominated as members. The Senate, however, rejected the nomination of two of President Muhammadu Buhari's nominees from Edo and Imo states for failing to appear before the committee for screening. National Assembly correspondent Jason Adeoye reports.
This is a report on the screening of the presidential nominees.
The Senate Committee on Niger Delta returns to the Senate chambers with its report to advise the upper legislative chamber on Mr. President's request to constitute a new board of the Niger Delta Development Commission.
The committee wishes to recommend for confirmation the nomination of the following as chairman and members of the governing board of Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC. Loretta Ifeanyi Onoche as chairman, governing board of NDDC. Accordingly, the committee stepped down the screening of the two nominees for reason of non-appearance before the committee.
Some lawmakers were opposed to the committee's recommendations and decision to confirm Loretta Onoche as chairman of the board. They insist she does not come from an oil-producing community, and petitions were already tendered before the committee in this regard.
What the law says is that the nominees should come from oil-producing areas. But that anyhow you interpret it, it cannot go outside community, it cannot go outside a local government, and it should, in my view, not go outside the senatorial district.
The truth argument about host community and oil-producing community have not been properly defined. It has not. It's going to create more problem, even the PIA. That problem will be there.
The Senate adopted the committee's recommendations and proceeded to confirm 13 of Mr. President's nominees.
The Senate confirmed the nomination of Loretta Ifeanyi Onoche from Delta State, representing South-South, as chairman in the Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC. Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The nomination of Loretta Ifeanyi Onoche from Delta State, representing South-South, is hereby confirmed as chairman in the Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC.
The Nigerian Senate further requested for copies of the forensic audit conducted by the executive on the accounts of the NDDC and directed that it be submitted to both chambers of the National Assembly. Jason Adeoye, TVC News, Abuja.
In the month of December, on the 1st, it is World AIDS Day. On the 3rd, attention shifts to persons living with disabilities. And December 9th is dedicated to International Anti-Corruption Day. 10th is Human Rights Day, while the 11th is the 2nd anniversary of the abduction of over 300 students in Kankara, Katsina State. On the 12th of December, the World Health Organization dedicates the day as Universal Health Coverage Day. On the 17th of December, the abducted Kankara boys were freed 6 days after. 18th of December is set aside as International Migrants Day. It is the last month of the year. Brace yourself for an interesting December. Stay with TVC News.
There is always more to a story than the screaming headline. The part of a story that is not told casts a shadow. It's like the part of an object that is not reached by light. On TVC News, I'm able to explore the many angles there are to a story, talking to stakeholders, asking the difficult questions, and digging for facts. I believe the viewers are able to make a better decision if they're well informed and understand not just a part, but the complete story. TVC News, first with breaking news.
All right, then let's take more political stories. The All Progressives Congress presidential candidate Bola Tinubu has assured Nigerians and stakeholders of the party from the South-South region that he would lead Nigeria to build back better and stronger, even in difficult times, if elected next president. The APC candidates made this declaration in Calabar at a town hall meeting with party stakeholders on national transformation and industrialization at the Cultural Center in Calabar. Bola Tinubu charged Nigerians and party members to focus on what the country can accomplish. He promised to work towards industrialization while focusing on the production of goods and services across the country.
I'm a forward four-wheel driver. I don't want to go backwards. Progressive driving Nigeria forward is the only reason why I'm running. What is my concern is development of Nigeria. Individually, this is a talented country. God bless this country. It is our own fault. Anger will not solve it. Division will not solve it. Breaking apart will not solve it. It is only togetherness, by building a team of intellectuals, brilliant minds, great thinkers, good visionaries, that we can build a country.
Back here in Lagos, the Lagos State Parks and Management has inaugurated a campaign support group connecting Grassroots initiative, a platform meant to champion the campaign activities of Bola Tinubu and Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu. Demola Lawrence tells us more.
66 days to the 2023 general elections. The supporters of APC presidential candidate Bola Tinubu have continued to gain more ground. The latest to join the train is the Connecting Grassroots initiative headed by the chairman of Lagos State Parks and Management, Musulu Akisoya, popularly known as MC Uromo. The support group, majorly comprised Nollywood actors, are to propagate the manifesto of the All Progressive Congress presidential candidate and Governor Sanwo-Olu of Lagos State.
We shall be commencing door-to-door, canvassing of votes, telling Nigerians, explaining to Nigerians 1,000 reasons why they should stick with our party, explaining to Nigerians what Nigeria will have been without this administration, and assuring Nigerians of a renewed hope.
The focus is deep down to the polling units. We are out to make sure that we talk to everyone, all the believers in Asiwaju and those that are supporting APC. We need to go out there to tell people that with Asiwaju, Nigeria cannot get it wrong.
The group was inaugurated by Fuji musician Wasiu Ayinde, popularly called Kwamwa. While speaking to some party officials, the group highlights major function through the door-to-door campaign.
The main purpose of organizing this group is for them to go to house mobilization, canvassing. There are type of canvassers that we really need, from house to house constituency within the jurisdiction of their areas throughout the whole state. Once they go out, when they go for this house to house campaign, it's going to be easier for us.
So what we're doing is to have a forum, to have an avenue where they can ask us questions, where we can defend, and where we can sell our candidates to them. So it's beyond just talking without getting feedback. And whatever the feedback is, we can get the feedback and relate back to our candidate.
Visionary leader is when you have the guts, the sagacity to plant trees under which shade you know you may never sit under. There's always a moratorium between the time you start any revenue generating activity.
MC Oluomo distributes 40 cars to the campaign group to carry out the task. Ademola Lawrence, TVC News, Lagos.
All right, now to our interview with the guest of the day. I am now joined by the Executive Director of Civil Society Legislative Advocacy Center, Awal Musa Razvanjani, on threats of insecurity and vote buying into the 2023 elections. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. Hello, are you there? Good evening and thank you for joining us, Mr. Musa. All right, if you can hear me, now let's start with INEC's preparations for the 2023 elections. How would you rate this so far? All right, I guess we'll have... Can you hear me? All right, let's start with INEC's preparations for the 2023 elections. How would you rate this? How has it been so far for you?
Thank you very much. I think so far INEC has demonstrated the willingness to overcome those previous challenges of ill preparation for election in Nigeria. We have seen some, adequate measures taken to ensure that the occurrences of those challenges have been overcome. And I think this is a good development, and we will continue to encourage INEC to ensure that Nigerians are not disappointed, the international community are not disappointed over this 2023 general election. I think, with the level of work we've seen so far, we have a feeling that if INEC maintain the tempo, they will be able to organize a good election in Nigeria.
One of the main issues concerning this election, which is mind-boggling, is insecurity. Sadly, INEC has recorded 50 attacks on its facilities across 15 states in the last 4 years. What do you think is responsible for this trend?
There are a number of issues that appears to be responsible for this constant attack by people who do not wish to ensure that we have free, fair, credible election, and we also have a change of leaders at local, state, and national level. And therefore, what they are doing is to undermine the collective aspiration of Nigerians to ensure that we have leaders that can come and they can be able to steer on good governance in this country. Nigerians have suffered a lot of deficit in democratic values, in democratic tenant, in democratic dividend, and therefore the only opportunity they have now is to use this election to bring in people that they will be probably more accountable, that will be more transparent, that will care for the people, that will be very, or rather more patriotic in the action they have taken, and they will be, developmental leaders, not, leaders that are just out there polluting and diversion of public taxpayers' money. So if anybody tries to deprive Nigerians from electing new set of leaders that will have the mandate to ensure that they bring about the necessary development in the country, that's a serious sabotage, and that should be, stand to be condemned by every meaning Nigerians. If the so-called people who are engaging in this violent disruption of INEC facilities and officials, and even some of the opposition, political parties, campaigns, and their signboard, I think we will really draw back in terms of our effort to deepen democracy in Nigeria. The people that are doing this, they have sponsors. So therefore, the enablers have to be properly arrested, have to be properly dealt with. Because if you continue to let these people to have their way, they will have succeeded in destroying the democracy itself, and it will have continued to make Nigerians to stay away from election, which we have worked very hard to mobilize Nigerians to first register to get their PBC, secondly, to collect the PBC, thirdly, to ensure that they also elect credible people that can help bring about the necessary development, peace, stability, and progress in Nigeria. So anybody that is attempting to bring in a problem that will deprive Nigerians from getting this election to happen peacefully, successfully, is an enemy. Actually, is an enemy, or she's an enemy to collective aspiration of Nigerians, and therefore we must do everything possible to continue to promote non-violence in the electoral process in the country. But more importantly, another big threat that we are seeing is even some of the sitting governors who are depriving the opposition parties from having, to have access to public facilities. This is despite the fact that peace agreement have been signed between, major political parties, or rather all the political parties in the country. But sadly, we are seeing those who are supposed to be promoting peace, those who are supposed to, do issue-based politics, are the ones that are now, instigating and providing arms and ammunition and dangerous weapons to our young people who have been deprived, who they actually deprive them from quality education. Many of them have not been able to graduate. Many of them have been deprived to go back to school because of the recklessness and irresponsible governance that we've seen. But when it comes to election, they will use them, buy drugs for them, buy arms for them to go and be killing themselves, because you will never find their children or even their relation that are involved in this vandalization and violence in the electoral process. So it's a huge challenge that we must overcome it. And I believe that it is possible to overcome this once, for example, the government is willing and determined to be unbiased, to also make sure that they professionalize policing and security in this country. Because once it is biased and is tending towards one party, favoritism, then it will be difficult to ensure that we secure the environment. But if everyone knows that if you break the law, there's a consequences. If you finance breaking the law, there's a consequences. So people will be careful. But as it is now today in Nigeria, the enablers, the sponsors are never seen.
Going by your last statement, could INEC be overstretching when it calls this a systematic attack?
I want to believe that if there's a proper coordination and cooperation with different, stakeholders, we will be able to overcome this. First, people that are doing this attack, they are doing it in a particular community or in a particular area. If government wants, they can work together with the religious leaders, community leaders, ethnic leaders, labor leaders, other, civil society organization, media, to continue to preach peace, tolerance, and behavior that is good, that will also allow people to be tolerant, to make sure that everyone, really choose whatever party he or she wants without wrongful, without resorting to violence. So what we need, is to have a multi-stakeholder approach to this. If the security, the INEC, and all the stakeholders can come together to identify even those people that are, sponsoring this or that are doing this, we'll be able to minimize this, reckless and irresponsible behavior of attacking public facilities and even the lives and, the safety of the, election workers that are now being under threat. So it is possible to stop it, but it's not by being biased or by doing gara-gara. It has to be collective effort and responsibility. then we can be able to overcome it.
Now let's take a look at these states that have been under attack. Imo State has the highest number of attacks on INEC facilities with 11 incidents, followed by Osun with 7. Akwa Ibom and Enugu recorded 5 each. What does this tell us?
Well, you know, in the case of Imo State, it has been very, very in a state of, you know, instability since the pronouncement by the Supreme Court to, you know, donate the governorship to the ruling party, knowing that a lot of people believe that they did not come first, they did not come second, they came, you know, third, and they took over the seat. So since then, some people felt that there was, you know, there was no justice in that, you know, judgment, and there has not been effort from the ruling party itself to engage in peace and dialogue to get other political parties that are aggrieved, so that there will be proper understanding and let it go, so that, you know, we will have a peaceful Imo State. But what we see is that there's even more aggressiveness from even the governor and the ruling party in Imo State to deal with any, you know, opposition views in that state, and that is not bringing peace. Secondly, the IPOB also have chosen Imo State to be one of the states that they want to be experimenting, you know, their action. And I believe that, you know, all this, there's need to be, you know, having a truly dialogue, engagement, because I don't think anybody wants to just donate himself to die, just for what reason, for what sake. I don't think, you know, if we are able to have a meaningful and honest dialogue with all the various stakeholders who are feeling aggrieved in Imo State, I believe that we will be able to overcome this instant attack against INEC, against, you know, INEC staff, and then even the general insecurity in Imo State. It is possible to address this if there's a political will from both sides, whether it is from the IPOB, whether it is from the government, whether it is from the other agreed political, you know, parties and politicians. It is all about having dialogue, understanding, and also ensuring that people are assured of even their own existence. Because I think there has been so much reckless behavior by different sectors and stakeholders that is making this peace not to last in Imo State and other parts of the eastern state.
You know, another issue that mars our election processes is financial inducement. How damaging is this to our electoral process?
Sorry, I didn't get you.
Another major issue that mars our election is financial inducement. How damaging is this to our electoral process?
This is a very damaging thing, and that is why under our electoral law, this is condemned, this is not accepted, this is actually prohibited. Unfortunately, because of impunity by political parties, by some politicians who feel they are untouchable, they continue to break this law, they continue to do, you know, to engage in both trading and both buying. But the greatest implication of this is that when you privatize and commercialize governance, then it is a problem, because people will just come with stolen money, with suspicious money, you know, with money laundering, with, you know, illicit, you know, outflow money. They will just come and buy up the position, and once they get in there, they continue to siphon the public taxpayers' money. So this is part of the challenges, and you will never, with that arrangement, you will never experience any development. Education will continue to collapse, healthcare will continue to collapse, infrastructure will continue to collapse, water, you know, and environmental protection will continue to suffer. So we will continue to suffer the consequences of that 2,000 naira, 5,000 naira that people are, you know, given to take over the mandate of the people. So it is a very dangerous scenario we are facing, and that means that nobody who, you know, is really capable to bring about development, to bring about really good things in Nigeria can contest election, because it has been commercialized and privatized, and it is only people with stolen or suspicious money that can get into any position in this country. And that's dangerous.
On the program yesterday, we talked about money politics, and I'm indeed very happy we're talking about this today. Where did we get it wrong?
Well, first and foremost, we've got it wrong from the absence of true political party internet democracy. You will agree with me, many of these political parties, they have no internal democracy, and they have actually made it, impossible for really other members of the party to participate and be involved in the decision-making process and also choose who they want to have as a leader. But anyone who comes with money overnight, we've seen some people, they just move into the party because of their too much money. They took over the nomination, of either gubernatorial or presidential candidate, or even the senatorial or House of Rep candidate. They were never party members. They didn't even believe in the party, but because they want to grab power, they have to bribe, the other maybe perhaps party official to take over those positions. And today they are being put as either presidential or gubernatorial or senatorial or House of Rep candidate for election. So with such kind of situation, there's no way we can be able to cure what we are seeing in 2023 election that will come, because already at the beginning, we've lost it out.
Thank you very much, Mr. Awal Musa Rafanjani. Thank you for joining us on the program today as we look at the threats of insecurity and vote buying to the 2023 elections. It's been wonderful having you on the program today. Thank you for coming.
Thank you very much.
All right. And that marks the end of today's episode of Politics Tonight. But the conversation continues from here. Get in touch with us on Twitter at CVCNewsNG and at Olajumoke using the hashtag Politics Tonight. We're also on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. Join us for the repeat episode at midnight and tomorrow for another edition of Politics Tonight, digging beyond the headlines. I am Olajumoke Olatunji. Good
The following is a paid presentation by ShopX TV. Introducing the new Pressure King Pro from ShopX TV. The amazing 14-in-1 digital pressure cooker that saves you time and money. Want to cook proper meals but can hardly find the time? We all have busy schedules, but hurried lifestyles means meals on the run, maybe even whole weeks with too much processed or fast foods. The amazing ShopX 14-in-1 digital pressure cooker cooks up to 90% faster than conventional appliances. And because it cooks so much faster, you're not just saving time, but saving money too. Cooking a whole chicken in the Pressure King Pro could use up to 6 times less electricity than the average oven, saving you time and cash. This delicious chicken pepper soup could take 1 hour in conventional cookware, but with the Pressure King Pro, you'll cook it in just 15 minutes. This mouth-watering jollof rice is cooked in just 10 minutes in the Pressure King Pro, so you really can make fresh traditional meals for your family with ease. This delicious mixed bean porridge was made with fresh ingredients in just 30 minutes. Now that is fast food. Pressure King Pro is the one-pot solution that cooks hundreds of different healthy meals and does the job of so many different appliances. It's a pressure cooker, slow cooker, rice cooker, and a steamer all rolled into one. And with its digital control, you don't even need to be a chef to make exciting meals. You can even saute with no need for pots and pans on your gas cooker. It's perfect for browning meat and vegetables. Just press the button and walk away for perfect meals every single time. From jollof rice, goat meat asun, scrumptious side dishes, lamb chops, roasted chicken, the Pressure King Pro does the hard work for you to take the pressure out of meal times. You just set it and walk away.
The Pressure King Pro is God sent, and my family loves every meal I prepare with it. It is a one-pot wonder that makes cooking so easy. Now I can prepare fresh meals for my family in minutes.
I love my Pressure King Pro. It's a life-changing product that has saved me so much time. My favorite thing about it is so easy, it's quick, the food that comes out of it, delicious, and it fits the entire family. My mother-in-law can't believe how good my food tastes.
You could be paying over 350,000 naira for a complicated collection of cookware that takes time to cook and also takes up so much space on your countertop. But for a limited time only, call the number on your screen now and get the multi-function Pressure King Pro for just 94,950 naira. But wait, that's not all. Call now and we will deliver the ShopX Pressure King Pro straight to your door with no delivery charge. So call now while stocks last. The preceding was a paid presentation by ShopX TV.
You attended the 17th technical session of the National Council on Transportation with glazed eyes, thinking it was going to be a talk shop. You were most certainly disappointed. Participants all agreed that their eyes, shall I say glazed eyes, were opened to spectacular goings-on and potentials in the transportation sector. Presentations on clean fuels that Nigeria has in abundance and the effect of illicit drugs on the sector were just two of the well-received papers at the 17th National Council on Transportation. The theme of this year's council meeting was transport technology and innovation for socio-economic sustainability. How Nigeria keys into technology for transport generated a very robust debate. Apart from presenting memos that are capable of evolving a viable transportation sector, participants suggested workable strategies in line with global trends. We have details of that interactive session on this week's episode of The Shipper. Please stay tuned and thanks for joining us on the program. My name is Rekia Zikru Yagoyaju and I'll be back shortly.
Nigerian Shippers Council, they to serve you well. No matter the problem, we go solve them for you.
Yes, so the Nigerian Shippers Council, they feel in a parole now for every level. And as soon as goods, they move from port A, go enter port B with a measure within on a need. For the Nigerian Shippers Council, we don't sharp proper to fit hear you wella, work with you wella, and help you fit serve your customers them better, no matter where them day. As we country port economic regulator, the Nigerian Shippers Council get every now to fit make government consider the problem where shippers them they face. Visit we office for number 4 or to buy your daily show your daily lane. Papa, email us for nsc@shipperscouncil.gov.ng. We